on, everyone? It is Connor, your co-host with the most, back with Lockboard Week number 14. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We've only got, this will be, after this week, we'll only have 4 more weeks of picks left. And the race has tightened considerably. I do have both Zach and Eric here with me. And if I can actually click on something that's not a box, go down. There we go. The race has tightened considerably since last week. Not a very high-scoring week, unfortunately, but the race is still close. Zach came out of last week with 2 points, so he is now at 46 points. Eric, that 1-pointer paying off for him, as that was the only pick he got right, coming away with 1 point at 50 points. And I had the best week at 4 points, and I am now sitting at 48. So Eric still in first place with 50. I have now moved into second place with 48 points, 2 points outside of first place. And Zach is in last place, but still only 4 points outside of first place. So very tight race happening here. Unfortunately, when we reveal the picks to you guys, I'm going to be really unhappy that I'm the last pick this week, because you'll see that our picks are not very good this week. But
limited selection.
But moving on to recapping last week, Eric, tell us how your picks went. You had the first pick.
Yeah, I had the first pick. Usually I've been pretty good when I've had the first pick of like getting back on track, but not this time. I went with the Dolphins over the 49ers for a 3-point play. I thought that was going to be like more of a toss-up type of game. Jimmy G got hurt really early for San Francisco, so when that happened, I thought I was easily going to get this 3-pointer, but the Dolphins struggled offensively, and then the 49ers ran away with it, which was very surprising to me to not get that with the injury, but so nothing there. And then I took the Pacers over the Jazz in the NBA. That also I thought was kind of more like a toss-up game. I saw value in that, but the Pacers got beat pretty easily. The Jazz have been good for me on the lock board, so I probably shouldn't have picked against them there. But, sorry, Utah, I won't do that again. But definitely like my most disappointing one to not get was my 3rd-round pick with the Nuggets over the Hawks. The Hawks had no Trae Young, no John Collins, and no DeAndre Hunter in this game. And when I found that out, I thought the Nuggets were going to win really easily, but they just couldn't keep up with them, and Atlanta won also pretty easily. My one game I got right was the 1-pointer, like Connor mentioned. I took Michigan over Purdue. Michigan won by 21, but this was a close game going into the 4th quarter. I was sweating this out a little bit for a while. I was like, do not tell me. When Georgia had already won earlier too, I was like, Zach and I were talking. I was like, I should have just picked Georgia over LSU instead. But thankfully, Michigan finally pulled away. I at least got 1 point. So glad to not get a 0. Glad to have the first pick again. Hopefully, this will be the time I turn it back around. But Zach, you had the second pick. So walk us through what you took.
Yeah, so my first round pick was UCF over Tulane. That was a 3-pointer, didn't hit. I think UCF is just like Big 12 bound. They don't even care at this point. So what it seems like their last few weeks, losing to Navy, almost losing to USF, and then not even really showing up to play Tulane. Plus they've had a rotating cast of quarterbacks like none other. So I should have been advised not to do that. I did get Kansas State over TCU. Deuce Vaughn, he had a great game for Kansas State. It was, a classic TCU game, though, where they almost came back. And, God, I really thought TCU was going to win once they, tied it up and went to overtime. But Kansas State, they prevailed. They didn't play spoiler to the playoffs, but they did get the Big 12 championship.
Thank God that didn't happen, because that would have meant that Bama would have gone in, and that would have been not good for anyone. So
no.
Coastal Carolina over Troy. That one was doomed from the start as well. Coastal, they also had a rotating.
I tried to warn you about that one.
Yeah, and then their coach, was obviously wooed over by Liberty, so he left. And Coastal Carolina right now is just kind of like UCF, bad momentum at the end of the year. Orlando over Cleveland was my last pick. That one didn't hit as well. Not a super entertaining game, but yep. So that's my only 2 points for the week.
Yeah, so I had the best week here. Unfortunately, it really sucks because my first pick, I took Chicago again over Green Bay because Justin Fields was healthy. And what was unfortunate about it was that the Bears were winning pretty much the entire game, and then the Packers were able to get the dub at the end, which it sucks because if I was really hoping I was going to hit that one, because I'll be like, man, I'm going to take the lead over Eric this week if this hits, but
we don't need that to happen. Don't need that to happen, Don, okay?
But unfortunately, the Packers got the touchdown at the end, and then on the drive to go down and try and tie or win, Fields threw an interception. So
yes, he
that
did.
sealed the game for the Packers there, unfortunately. But I did get Detroit Lions over the Jaguars. I was lambasted for picking this one last week, but it ended up being a blowout win for the Lions. Not good at all there for Jacksonville, unfortunately, for my co-host over here. And then I did also get in the NBA the Hornets over the Wizards. That ended up being a close game in the end. The Hornets were leading by like double digits going into the fourth and almost blew it. But they did end up holding on with no LaMelo Ball or Gordon Hayward, so that was a good win. And then, of course, I had to go and take UNC over Clemson, and my streak of getting Clemson wrong continues. Game wasn't even close either. Like, UNC had a really good first drive and looked like they were going to be able to like stay competitive, but it all just kind of went downhill from there. I think they're definitely ready for next year as well. They're just kind of like, this season's over, don't really bother. I know Clemson, their backup quarterback came in after Uyunglele got benched and did really well, and I know Uyunglele is going to the transfer portal now because he got benched. So
yeah, I mentioned that in the group chat. Like, I watched the first drive of that game, and Uyunglele, however you pronounce his last name, like, his literally first throw to the ground was like a wide receiver screen that hit the ground like 5 yards in front of the wide receiver's feet, and I was like, just get him out of there now. I was like, just get him. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god. I was like, North Carolina's going to win this game, and Connor's going to like get 5 points, and I was just like, oh my god. I was like, they need to get the backup in there. And thankfully, by drive 3, they did, and then the game turned around. So thank you, Clemson coach, for listening to me on that, because I made the call, and it happened.
To be fair with how we played, I'm not sure we would have even won even with Uyunglele in there, so who knows. Although,
well, if he had kept throwing it at the wide receiver's feet every pass, North Carolina would have won. But
Drake May's not transferring. He's put all those
nice.
He's put all those rumors to bed. He wants to play in Carolina, so no transfer for Drake May. It's funny because UNC, our quarterback's not transferring, but NC State's quarterback is at the transfer portal, so we'll see how that happens. Who knows what's going to happen there? But so that was the week. You might recognize this draft order as it's literally the exact same draft order from last week. So, no change there. Let me make sure the font is the font's right. So we'll head over to the picks now, and as you can see, unfortunately, since we're kind of in that spot in between conference championships and bowl games, we only have one college game available this week. So, and also there's like 6 teams that are on bye in the NFL. So there's even limited NFL picks this week. So, yeah, this is why I mentioned I'm not happy to have the last pick, because there is very slim pickings this week. I'm sure you're probably going to see some 1-pointers at some point this week just because the lack of picks. So with that being said, Eric, where are we going with pick number 1? This didn't work out last week. Let's see.
No, it didn't. But I am pick number 1 again. I'm hoping that this time I will get things back on track. I had thought about this for a while. I mean, there's not, as Connor said, there's not very many good upsets to choose from here. But I wanted to get one that I feel is a little bit safer to start off with, hoping that this will help me get points. I will be going to the NBA, and I'm going to take the Pelicans to defeat the Suns. The Suns have been kind of struggling a little bit. The Pelicans are hot right now. They've won like 5 in a row. Pelicans are at home. So I like their chances here. It's only a 1.5 point spread. And I don't know why. It seems like every time when we have the lock board going on, it seems like the Suns always lose on Friday. Like whenever anybody picks against the Suns lose. Like they even lost to the Rockets last Friday. So I don't know what it is about Fridays. Like the Suns they're just ready for the weekend or what. But like, so I don't know. But of course, watch I say all this and then they'll go out and win by like 50. But
I mean, they did kind of get embarrassed by Boston in their last game, whereas like Boston was missing like a lot of players, and Boston still beat them by like 30 points. So
something is off in Phoenix right now, and so I don't know if that was on either of y'all's boards, but I was like, let me just get something safe to start with here, and then I'll kind of see where the cookie crumbles for my next pick.
I will say I'm pretty sure a lot of these 2-pointers are probably on a lot of our lists, given the lack of good picks here. So
yeah. So Zach, you got the second pick. Where are you going to go here?
Yeah, I'll play the role of the stat guy, the guy that just interrupts with a stat. Eric has by far taken the most NBA games this year on the lock board. He's taken 13. Yeah. He's hit 4 of 13 NBA picks. So we'll see if this one pays off. Me and Connor only did 6 and 5.
That's not a terrible ratio.
It's not, especially compared to some other ones. Your NFL is much better.
And I picked 3 1-pointers, but none of those were NBA games. So all my NBA picks were upsets. So to get 4 out of 13 is not too terrible. I can live with that.
Yeah.
Let's make it 5 for 14 now.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to pick a game I feel like we've taken every year in the lock board, but I'm going to take Army to beat Navy.
I was thinking about that first.
I thought you were going to take my pick, but I'm glad you. I mean, that was on my board too, but that was not my favorite pick. So
yeah, I was between that one.
I just swear the upset in the Army Navy game always seems to happen every year.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
I picked it last year, so
yeah. Army was like 3-9 against Navy, who was like 8-3 last year, and Army won. I was like,
actually, it was the other way around, actually.
Yeah,
or whatever it was. Whatever.
I remember that pick because I got it right. I remember picking Navy to win that. So I think it was a 3-pointer last year too, because Army, like you said, Army was like 9-3 and Navy was like 3-9, but this year it's only a 2-pointer because they're both like, I think Army is like 5-6 and Navy's 4-7. So
yeah, it's a toss-up game, really. That's what it is every year. So I'll go with Army this time.
All right. So yeah, I was worried you were going to take my pick, but thankfully my pick is still there. So I'm amazed that my first pick is still on here. I'm going to go ahead and take, I know they've been hot recently and I picked them to win last week, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Detroit Lions. Minnesota, they've been riding an incredible wave of momentum that I don't think anyone thought that they would have this year. I know the Lions have been hot recently. Their offense is really good. But it's going to be, I think the the Vikings are going to win. All right. So Eric, where are we going here?
Let's see. So for my next pick, this is tough already, and it's only round 2. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. I know this might be a crazy pick, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go in the 5-point realm and take the Jets over the Bills. I know the Jets were at home last time, but they did beat the Bills earlier this season. While the Bills have been winning, they haven't looked – they don't seem like the unbeatable Bills like they were earlier in the season. The Jets are playing much better since they, benched Zach Wilson. I'm not crazy optimistic that this is going to happen, but just given the limited choices, I do feel like this is easily the best 5-pointer that has a chance of hitting. So I remember last week, while some of the games were going on, Zach and I were looking at 5-pointers that hit, and we were like, dang, we could have taken some of these, but we didn't. So I wanted to take one this week just to see if it can happen. So that is my pick number 2.
Definitely not on my board because Buffalo's going to want to revenge in that game. They can't afford to lose a 3rd division game.
Well, yes, they can. Oh, it could be afforded.
So, yeah, I wasn't going to consider picking that one either. But like Eric mentioned, it's no great choices out there. I guess I guess I'll do it. I'll take the Browns to beat the Bengals. 3-point game. Fun fact, I think Joe Burrow's never beaten the Browns. So Deshaun Watson should be a little bit more comfortable this week, I believe. And for whatever reason, Burrow really struggles to play the Browns. So
I don't know, man. Watson was pretty awful last week against the worst team. I don't know.
I mean, the Browns still got that good running game, though. I mean, Nick Chubb's still a beast. So
Yeah. The Browns they're a good team, so
I can definitely see it happening. That's for sure.
Connor, let me guess, you'll be rooting for a tie to happen in that game?
No, I'll be rooting for a meteor to come down and strike both teams.
Oh God, you're death
he's going nuclear here.
God dang, dude. Connor going dark.
All right. So I'm also gonna head over to the 3-pointers. It's like I want to take the Lakers, but I feel like every time I take them, they lose.
Take them.
Screw it. I'm gonna take the Lakers to beat the Sixers. Like the Lakers have been doing a lot better recently. Anthony Davis especially has been on fire. He had like 3 straight games where he was over like 30, like 5 points or something like that. And he had one game where he got up to like 55. So and the Sixers have kind of been up and down all year long. So I'm gonna take the Lakers. Spirit of Kobe.
All right, yeah, but now it's LeBron, so I can't get behind that. Sorry.
I'm not happy about it either, but
Yeah. Hey, trust me, I get it. I just took the Jets, who I don't like, so I get it. I am gonna, with my third pick, I am gonna pick a team that I do like. This is gonna be crazy. I guarantee you this was probably not on either of y'all.
I already know what you're doing.
But I'm taking it anyway.
You're insane.
I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Tennessee Titans. Now, the only reason why I'm doing this is like it just seems like there's turmoil in Tennessee right now with them firing the GM. And I don't know, like the Titans obviously the Jaguars aren't doing good by any stretch of the word, but I don't know. There's turmoil in Tennessee right now. It seems like things are kind of falling apart a little bit. Like there's a lot of distraction going on. Like, Trevor Lawrence, he did get injured in the game against the Lions, but he finished the game. He's expected to play. So I said part of this just shows how mediocre and bad these selections are that we have this week. But I'm doing it. I'm taking the Jags for okay, on your stats, do you have how many times I've taken the Jaguars on there?
I don't have that on there now.
I've probably taken them this is probably my 7th or 8th time taking them, but yeah. But I know I picked them when they beat the Colts, and I picked them when they beat the Chargers. So
I will say though that more often than not it has not worked out.
I do have success taking the Jags. So I know Zach says I'm crazy. I probably am crazy. But at least it gives me something to root for, and if it hits, that's great for me. So,
all right, Zach, where are we going?
So, Zach, I take it I didn't snipe you there.
No, I probably would have picked literally every other game before that one, if I'm being honest with you.
Taking the Texans to beat the Cowboys over that?
Yeah, I would. I would.
Oh, dude, come on. Okay, Zach, come on.
I'm serious, dude.
I know we just got blown out by the Lions, but come on, the Lions have a way better offense.
He hasn't practiced all week. I don't know why I think he's playing. He hasn't practiced all week.
The report I saw earlier this morning said he still plans to play. So,
of course, he's going to say
Derrick Henry always has 250 yards whenever he plays the Jags too. So they're also
they haven't won in Tennessee since
it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Look, I'm not saying I'm locking this with 100% confidence or anything, but but I would take this over Texans over Cowboys for sure.
All right,
Zach.
I'm gonna go 5-pointer. I'm gonna take the Giants over the Eagles. I feel like the Eagles kind of struggle. I feel like the Giants are gonna match up well against them. Possibly, they've already lost to the Commanders in their division. So I feel like the Eagles are a vulnerable team to lose a game, and I feel like the Giants, while they tied, they're on a little bit of a losing streak as well. But out of the 5-pointers, that was really the only one that got my attention.
Yeah, I was maybe considering taking that with my next pick. But since it's gone, this makes my next pick easy. I'm going to go ahead, since I have the last pick, I know it probably won't be here when it gets back to me next time. I'm going to go ahead and take the best available one-pointer, and we were just talking about it, and that's the Cowboys over the Texans. Because, I mean,
was looking at that. That's what I was going to do next.
there is I figured you were, so I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and take that. Because, I mean, like, Houston is just the ultimate dumpster fire of a team this year. I mean, like, you know, they're going to be going back to Davis Mills at quarterback next week. Like, who even knows what they're doing? So, and Dallas is of course, you know, they're riding one of the best streaks in the league right now. So they're looking really dangerous. Also, I mean, I know it's the Texans and the Cowboys, but I was really surprised that was a 17-point spread. I was like, oh my God. That's probably like the largest NFL spread I've ever seen on this board. So
yeah, I would take the 17, honestly. That's just too much in the NFL to ever pass up on.
But yeah, I definitely wanted to get that because I knew Eric would take it. So where are you going now that I've sniped you, Eric?
Yeah, I'm still gonna take a one-pointer. I'm gonna take the Memphis Grizzlies to beat the Pistons for my one-pointer. I thought about taking Chiefs Broncos, but Denver's at home. I'm like, give me the one that's actually at home, the Grizzlies. The Pistons have just been awful this year. Grizzlies are, you know, still looking pretty good. They're showing that they're, you know, getting the number 2 seed last year wasn't a fluke. So Memphis should easily get this for me. Hopefully my streak of one-pointers, hopefully I'll remain undefeated. So Zach, are you joining me and Connor and going with a one-pointer? Are you staying aggressive? What's your plan here?
Yeah, I'm going to stay aggressive. I'm not going to do a one-pointer, but my next pick is TBD because it's not you know what? I'll just take the Mavs to beat the Bucks. Spread has it pretty much on a pick in the NBA. A 1-point spread is really a pick'em game. I mean, that's great, you know. So who knows?
It's good value.
Yeah, good value here in the 4th round. So happy to get that one.
Okay, well, Ravens over Steelers. No, not picking that one. No, I'm actually gonna, you know, this kind of goes against my own philosophy usually, but since I have tightened the race and the lack of picks this week, I'm gonna go ahead and take another one-pointer and take the Chiefs over the Broncos. Just because, like, I really don't like any of these picks that are left. Even like the 2-pointers. I mean, I'm not gonna pick against the Steelers, but like, you know, I don't even like picking the Chargers or the Cardinals to win their games. So just gonna go ahead and be safe and take another one-pointer here with KC over Denver. Especially since KC's going to want to, you know, they want revenge after losing to Cincinnati last week, so they're going to be coming into that game angry.
We cleaned out the 5-pointers.
Well, Connor, thank you, because while I have taken the most one-pointers, at least I'm now not the first one to take 2 in 1 week. So at least that's a one-pointer stat that
it'll still be the only time that'll happen, just because this week is like so bare with picks. I mean, thankfully
sure.
Next week, I think we're set to have like 9 college picks next week with the amount of bowl games starting. So it's like,
yeah,
that'll definitely open things up a lot, especially since bowl games are like really up in the air because you never know who's going to play and who's not going to play and who's going to really care about it. So definitely will be better picks next week. You know, hopefully the race stays close here. These are our picks, guys. You guys want to take a screenshot, look on YouTube, see who made the best picks. Make sure you leave down in the comments who you think made the best picks. Any picks that you would have taken that we wouldn't have taken. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Only 4 weeks to go after this, so make sure you guys stay tuned. You don't want to miss how close this race is. And Zach, I will let you close it out.
Yep. As always, remember, be clutch.
Bye.
Peace.